Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Fausto Botelho, broadcasting from Brazil, and here we use enfoque charts to try to extract logical indications about the future behavior of the crypto charts. So, and talking about our experience, I want to share with you guys that I was making up my files this last week, and I just bumped into an old document, very old, because it's about to make 41 years old, which is this one here that basically tells about my beginning on technical analysis. That was when I attended to this 8th annual conference on technical analysis in September 1977, and here's my name in the list. Actually, it all began when I went to London to race the Admiral's Cup, which is basically the World Championship of ocean boats, and that's me here. And after that, as I was there, I arranged a trainee in Conti Commodities. This is my friend Roger Kundi, and this is my friend Robert Grattan, is not here anymore. And that's myself trading in the exchange. I mean, in the trading desk of Conti at that time, 1977. That was Conti at that time. It doesn't exist anymore. Brand new telephones, state-of-the-art video, and clocks, and that's how a commodity office resembled in London at that time. And when I came back to Brazil, I then started to trade in Bolsa de Mercadorias de São Paulo, which had this pit. The pit was divided by these carpets. In this one, we would trade soybeans, coffee, and cotton here. And these were the boards where the codes were written at that time. And well, finally, this is me at the closing bell. And actually, we were playing at that time, but that's how things were. Everybody hanging their telephones and so on. That's the machine we used at that time. The Reuters Stockmaster, and with that, you would see the last 3 digits of a code. So things were a little tougher at that time. And well, this is the book, one of the first books that I read, and it tells about a formation, which is a reversal formation called drift pattern. And I just showed this here because actually we're going to talk about that in Bitcoin. Another thing I wanted to share with you was an insight that I had, which can be very well represented by the spreadsheet here. The idea, my friends, is that even though Bitcoin becomes the world currency, it is not Bitcoin that is going to be mentioned in the rates of the Forex. Like today's Forex, it's all based on dollar, basically. All the other coins are quoted in dollar. In the future, all the other currencies are going to be quoted in Bitcoin. No, they're going to be quoted more or less, but in Satoshis. So look here. 1 Bolivar from Venezuela doesn't buy 1 Satoshi because it's not worth 1 Satoshi. It's worth 0.06, which we don't have those decimal points, right? But Japanese yen is worth 698,000. I mean, 1 Bitcoin is worth 698,000 Japanese yen, or 143 Satoshis. It's much more logical for you to quote something in Satoshis than for you to quote something in Bitcoins, right? The dollar is worth nowadays 15,000 Satoshis, but when when a Bitcoin becomes $10,000, then a dollar will be worth $10,000, 10,000 satoshis as well. And if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, then a dollar will be worth only 100 satoshis at that time, right? So for that reason, in our platform, I'm going to have a checkbox in which you be able to define that you want your quotes in your scale multiplied by 100 million. In which case, instead of showing a quote like that for Tron, 0.0000050 500, you would quote it only as 500, and you would be meaning 500 satoshis, right? So that said, let's go to the charts. And first of all, we're gonna talk about Bitcoin. And we're gonna remember that I'm expecting Bitcoin to reach $100,000. But it's not because I think it's going to $100,000. I think I have very good evidence that show us that it will go there, right? First of all, I use this chart in which we capture the quotes of MT Gox, and then we united it with, I don't know if it's Bitfinex or Binance, but yeah, and of course that's in log scale. Please, if you see somebody using linear scale, yell at them, hey, man, change it to log scale, right? Because that's the correct scale to be used. When you see a chart like that, then it is very easy for you to spot the Elliott waves. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the thesis is that I don't have any reason to believe that wave 5 is going to be smaller than wave 3 and wave 1, considering that wave 3 was equal to wave 1. So we had two waves with this size, which mean in a log scale chart would mean the same percent change, and we're talking about around 50,000% here, right? This one a little shorter, this one a little bigger, but if we pick this segment and project from the beginning of wave 5, which is here, it takes us to $100,000. And if we consider now the waves in between wave 5, we can easily see as well wave 1, ABC, wave 2, wave 3, and so now we would be in wave 4 of wave 5. That is one of the reasons, and besides, we're in wave 4 and we've reached this pretended support line, but it's not. I think you can trust this line because if you draw a parallel line here, you're going to touch these two tops, and that makes a beautiful upward channel. But if it wasn't to consider this trend line, then you could consider this one, and if you can consider this one, then eventually wave 4 would last a couple more weeks or something, right? So now it remains for us to see whether wave 4 is ending or not. So in that matter, some people are considering, some colleagues, technical analysts are considering that we're seeing a descending triangle here. Yeah, it could be, but I think, reasons to believe, and I talked about that in the last video, that because we had what I call a bear trap here, and let's talk about, because, you know, I think I told you already in other videos that I consider the I consider a bear trap as the most important technical indication. And a bear trap will be more important as more important is the support that he's breaking and re-entering. So back to the chart. We then have to consider this support line. We have to actually rate this support line. We have to, so let's take a look. We have one technical event here, 2, 3, 4. So when the market broke this support line, he was breaking a very important support line. And then he re-entered a very important support level, So this is a very important bull trap. Besides, we had a reversal head and shoulders here, which usually occurs in a bottom of a trend, right? So, besides that, the market broke this resistance line, and then it went to test this 8,000 level, and it wasn't able to break it, and then it came back to what I think today is a pullback to this support level here, and to the resistance line that comes from the top of December last year, right? Besides, my friend, if we take a closer look to this accumulation that we're seeing here, what I can see is a drift pattern. So now I want to talk with you guys that don't know about a drift pattern and how we compare a drift pattern with a flag. A flag happens when a certain resistance level is breaking, and then you have the market going up fast with the trend, right? And afterwards, a bunch of people, because people are made of the same material, people want to buy the same toys, people want to date the same kind of man or woman. They travel to the same places. They actually make up their minds to take this profit. The profit is the mast, what we call the mast of the flag, right? So a flag is nothing more than a profit-taking process. So when people start taking profits, they create a false downward pressure. And why is it false, Fausto? It's false because it's people selling, not because they think the market is coming down, but because they want to take the money out of the exchange into their pockets. That's why people sell aggressively after a move like that. So the flag, the reason for the existence of a flag is the mast, which is the profit that people is taking out of the market, right? So that's a flag. That's a flag. That's what happens in a flag. Now, besides that, we have, and I have to do something here. I have to do something here, which is done. Now, in a drift pattern, what we have is something different. We have the market going through a movement, and then instead of seeing the market drifting against the previous movement, we see the market drifting in the same direction of the previous movement. Well, that's very easy to spot. That indicates the market losing strength, indicates the bulls losing strength. They they took the market up with this enthusiasm, and then they start to slide upwards. So this is called a drift, and usually reverses a movement. So, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, right? This is exactly what we're seeing here. Let's take that out, zoom out, and come back here. So after this movement, the market drifts towards the support, and there's a clear message here that Bitcoin is sending us. I'm not going to break the support level because I spent a lot of effort here, and I arrived at a very important support with my strength. Well, now there's one thing that we have to say as well, which is sometimes a drift pattern turns into a flag. So if the market keeps sideways here, we're going to call that a pennant or a flag or a small rectangle or whatever. And then we're probably going to see the market breaking the support. And if it breaks the support, then I will have to admit that this was definitely a descending triangle. And then we will have to project the objective that can be projected out of a descending triangle, which is its height down here. So the market would probably reach $3,000. But as we're in wave 4 of wave 5, that even if the market breaks this support at 6,000, it could end anytime, right? But that's not what I'm expecting. For the moment, my chart is like that. There is a break in resistance line. The market produced a bear trap, which is a very clear indication that something is wrong with this descending trend, right? And inverted head and shoulders, broke the resistance line. And so I'm working with the hypothesis that this is only a pullback. For that to happen, then I'm coming to the 60-minute hourly chart, and where we can see a clear resistance in here, 6,600. And now, my friends, I see a upward flag. So that upward flag would project something like that. So I think we might be just before Bitcoin confirms this accumulation as a reversal. It would be the drift pattern that I told you about, a pullback to the resistance line of this drift pattern, which of course you can only see in this hourly chart, right? And maybe we will be seeing Bitcoin going to starting wave 5. Now, I've said in the other video, and if you don't know, because the question that always comes is, okay, when do you think it could reach $100,000? And the answer is, it could be this year. But again, this is not something that I think could happen. I think I have good evidence to be able to say that, even though it sounds impossible now for the market to get out of 6 and go to 100 this year. wow, but that's Bitcoin. This is something that is disrupting the whole financial world, right? So what I do here is that I don't have the slightest idea about when it could get there, but it pays for you to ask the market, you know. So asking the market, you have this situation here, which is a precedent of something the market made in the past, right? But I'm not going to pick this one. I'm going to pick this one here, which is smaller, even smaller than this one here, right? So if you put this in here, you can easily see that if market repeats something he'd done in the past, we would be there in $100,000 in November. So that could easily happen. And I tell you what, I told you that I don't have any reason to believe that wave 5 is going to be shorter, smaller than wave 3 and wave 1. But I do have reasons to believe that it will be bigger, and that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be bigger. But when, I don't know. It could be very soon. We could be seeing the start of that. If this support 6,600 is breaking, I think we're starting that. So I think it may be a good time for you to buy Bitcoin because anyway you would have you would have a stop. If you buy here and put a stop here, you'd be placing your stop 11 or 12% below, which is not very much for the crypto world, right? Now, if Bitcoin is going up, you probably want to leave your money in Bitcoin. But if you want to trade, then you have to think about the relative strength theory process. And nothing to see with relative strength index from Wells Wider. Relative strength is a situation in which you will examine which are the coins, the tokens that will eventually be outperforming Bitcoin in any sense. So for that, you have to look at charts of these coins traded in Bitcoin. You have to look at the pairs coin, Bitcoin, Tron, Bitcoin, Monero, Bitcoin, EOS, Bitcoin, and so on. So I'm going to show you the most important ones in terms of market cap, and only in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Cash is flagging down, nothing to talk. I think it's coming down. That's in dollar. Bitcoin we've seen. ADA, Cardano just broke the support line. It's probably flagging down. But you see, that doesn't mean that Cardano will go down in dollars. Cardano could be going up, but Bitcoin will go up as well, and it's going to be outperforming Cardano. So you don't want to buy Cardano with your Bitcoins, right? But eventually, EOS, same thing. It's in a downward trend. Looks like it's flagging down. You don't want that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't change to the charts. So I'm coming back quickly and showing you Bitcoin Cash, showing you Cardano, showing you EOS, and now again starting to with Ethereum also. Ethereum also flagging down after having broken this huge support level, flagging down. So no way I think you could buy Ethereum. IOTA, well, we don't have any contest. Yes, we do. There might be some support here. The market might have found some support. So eventually IOTA could come to this resistance line, and we would be talking about some 40% upward movement. Now, Litecoin, it's in a downward trend, looks like it's flagging down. Monero is one of the coins that I think could be showing a reversal because it reached a very important support level, and it reversed after reaching that support level. Reversed with a pierce pattern, which is being confirmed today, right now. It's being confirmed right now. So I think that's eventually a good bet. You're 13% away from where you could safely put your stop. And if we go to the 60-minute chart, which I don't know, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, maybe you could think of putting your stop in here below 0.0138, which would be a stop placed 8% away. Ripple reversed, but not dramatically. So I'm not trusting too much in Ripple yet with this reversal. Stellar is testing the support line, doing an accumulation that I think is showing that it's probably going to continue the downward process. Tron, nothing to comment. It broke a very important support line and eventually could go to this resistance line here, but nothing else than that. And that's it. So if you watched the video until here, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you like what you see. And if you want to help the channel, please post this link, share in your social media. And also you could help the channel if you're thinking of opening an account in Binance. Please use the link below, so you're going to help us. Thank you very much. See you next video.